Good morning, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to our Monday movie memo, where we try and catch you up on major things that happened over the weekend and get you set up for the week ahead. It's really hard to start this week off because of everything that happened on Sunday, and I guess it's very possible for you guys to maybe be waking up and to be learning for the first time about the loss of Philip Seymour Hoffman, who died on Sunday afternoon, or Sunday morning was discovered. And the news spread Sunday afternoon that he died of a apparent drug overdose at age 46. Now, this was Super Bowl Sunday, and everybody was sort of off in their own worlds preparing for big game parties, and so it might have just been a quick headline that sort of raced past. Either you heard it on the radio or on television. And so now you're just starting to sort of process like what we lost, what this industry lost when we lost Philip Seymour Hoffman. I want to give a quick peek behind the scenes of what happened here at Cinema Blend. The staff got together almost immediately and started talking about how do we honor this man? How do we remember all of his contributions to this industry? And we started rattling off all of the performances he gave in all of these unbelievable titles. And I think that's what shocked me immediately, was just, it's not that he was so great, because, I mean, that was a given. We all just sort of understood that. But it was how good he was in how many different movies. We're planning a feature that we're going to have up on the site this morning where we try, which is foolish to even try, but we try to pick out our favorite performances by Mr. Hoffman. But even in just isolating, the ones that we wanted to talk about in that feature, we found ourselves leaving out so many unbelievable films. I mean, we're going to probably talk about movies like Almost Famous and Boogie Nights and Doubt, where he went toe-to-toe with Meryl Streep. His Paul Thomas Anderson films with Boogie Nights and Magnolia. But then you followed Twitter yesterday as all of these people reacted to his loss, and it was the acting community just praising him and talking about how much that he inspired other actors through his work, and it was directors stepping up and talking about what a true professional he was, and it was fans just outpouring how much they appreciated everything that Philip Seymour Hoffman was able to do as an actor and as a performer. And so the funny part about Twitter on Sunday, in the wake of his loss, in the wake of his passing, was all of these titles that just sort of rattled off of like, oh my gosh, he was so great in this, and oh my god, I loved him in this, and it was a steady stream of these, oh yeah, he was in that, and god, he was great in that. It was like, I love Moneyball. Like, Moneyball was my #1 movie of the year, and it just skipped my mind that he played Art Howe in it. It was amazing. I mean, he's just amazing. Before the Devil Knows You're Dead, alongside Ethan Hawke and Marissa Tomei. Amazing film, and he's incredible in it. I'm going to sound completely repetitive when I keep saying what an amazing film and how incredible he was in it, because that's really what it was. I mean, obviously he was in The Big Lebowski. The Savages with Laura Linney. If you have not seen The Savages, you have to track it down, where they play siblings trying to figure out what to do with their parents in the later stages of their life. George Clooney put out a statement because Philip Seymour Hoffman crushed his scenes in The Ides of March. And I mean, that's what happens. Like, a filmmaker will remind you that Philip Seymour Hoffman was in one of their films, and you're like, oh god, that's right, he crushed in those scenes. Gwyneth Paltrow put up a really nice picture from the wrap party of the talented Mr. Ripley, which might have been one of the earliest times when people started to recognize what a talent this man was. And then, I mean, he was in Happiness, and he was in Twister. And I mean, if that doesn't show you the range of this unbelievable performer, that he's able to hold down scenes in a movie like Happiness, and he's able to, plug into the ridiculousness of a Jan de Bont movie and create a character like Dusty and make it all believable. I mean, I think that's what we're all lamenting right now, is that at 46 years old, we assumed that we had decades left of Philip Seymour Hoffman performances, and I'm really most saddened, that his actions, and it's his actions. I mean, it was addiction, and there's going to be a lot of talk about that in the next couple of days, about how we need to pay more attention to addiction as a disease, and how, Philip Seymour Hoffman's actions took from us one of our greatest actors, one of our greatest working actors right now. He was nominated for 4 Academy Awards. It should have been 40 Academy Awards probably when you look back over his career. He won, obviously, for Capote, for playing Truman Capote. He was nominated for Charlie Wilson's War, and you should pull that movie off your shelf and just rewatch the scene where he explodes, because I think everybody, when they watched him melt down in his one memorable scene, and I can't really talk about what he says in it, I think you realize at that moment, oh, he's going to get the Oscar nomination this year. Nominated for Doubt, where he again went toe-to-toe with Meryl Streep and had amazing scenes with Amy Adams. And he was nominated for the Master, where he went toe-to-toe with Joaquin Phoenix. Now, it's those moments, it's those interactions with incredible performers who it seemed like Hoffman, forced them to come up to his level. To the point where, when he's in Mission Impossible 3, I think we got our most fully realized villain, and gave Cruise someone to really play off of. And that's why I think Mission Impossible 3 is one of the most rewarding and entertaining films in that franchise, or probably, in any most recent action film, because Hoffman gave us, much like Hans Gruber in the original Die Hard, he gave us a villain that we could kind of enjoy, It's someone that we could relate to and dig into and appreciate. And that's what Hoffman did in all of his films. And so, that's just another example of him sort of elevating a genre film to the next level and making us appreciate it on so many different levels. So we're going to try to celebrate his life as much as we can on Cinema Blend. We've got a great feature coming up, like I said today, where a bunch of the writers on the movie staff are going to pick out our favorite performances by Philip Seymour Hoffman. Not necessarily his best, but just the performances that he gave us that resonate with us to this day. So keep your eye on the site for that. We're going to have a 24-hour movie marathon of Philip Seymour Hoffman that's going to be programmed by Gabe. And we're just going to open up the comment section to you guys to let us know, how you want to remember Philip Seymour Hoffman. Which performances of his really stuck with you? Which ones affected you? And tell us why. Let's make this more of a celebration. Yesterday was a really sad day. It was tough to get on board with the fact of, this reality that all of a sudden Philip Seymour Hoffman is gone. And, we touched on the future of the Hunger Games franchise to millions and millions of you watching this. He's Plutarch, and he is still going to be a major part of Mockingjay, but that's going to be another sad way of sort of dragging out this goodbye to him, because he's going to be in Part 1 and Part 2, which will, one of them arrives in November at the end of this year, and then we'll wait till next November to say goodbye to him again. We know that he has a movie coming out called The Most Wanted Man, an adaptation of a John le Carre film. So we still have some Hoffman performances to look forward to. But, as this week goes on, I just want to use Cinema Blend as a place to remember this amazing talent, this tremendous performer. And we can talk about the loss to the film industry, to this community, where we get together and talk about how much we appreciate amazing performances and contributions to great films. But let's celebrate. Let's celebrate his work. Let's celebrate his life. Cut short too soon. But let's go on record to say thank you, Philip Seymour Hoffman. Thank you for everything that you gave us. We wish you were able to give us some more. So use the comment section below to tell us how he affected you, which performances of his you liked the most, and join us in saying goodbye to this amazing talent.